Introducing Mike Tyson. I want a good, clean, hard fight.
After 1 year in the professional heavyweight division, Mike Tyson's record had reached an extraordinary 18 wins out of 18 fights, and all by knockout.
I got it. Watch me. I got it. Hey! I got something that makes me want to shout. I got something that tells me what it's all about. I got soul. And I'm super bad. Hey! I said I'm super bad. Red!
Mike has great skills, but Cuss brought him out. Cuss was an enormously talented trainer and teacher of young boys. He was patient with Mike. In fact, when Mike moved in with him, Cuss adopted Mike and became his legal guardian shortly thereafter, when Mike was 14 or 15 years old, when Mike's mother died. The help that Cuss gave Mike was not only in the ring, but out of the ring. And he made Mike a fine human being, as well as a great, great, great fighter.
Tyson trusted his team with arranging and organizing his career, enabling him to focus on his training and his next fight. The death of Cuss D'Amato was a pivotal moment for Tyson in both his personal and professional life. He was Tyson's closest friend, his guardian angel, and the death left a void that perhaps made him more vulnerable. Fight number 19 was against Steve Zouski, a boxing veteran with considerable experience. Zouski had been stopped before, but he'd never been off his feet.
And we've got our main event in front of us. The long-awaited fight between Mike Tyson and Steve Zouski. Long-awaited, at least for the Long Island area. Everybody's been talking about the young man from the Catskill area. 18 fights so far in his professional career in just 1 year as a pro. He's won them all. He's won them all by knockout. Today he weighed in at a career heaviest, 220.5 pounds, and there's not an ounce of fat in that. It is all muscle. He's 5'11.5", and the man is probably the most talked about young fighter to come along since Sugar Ray Leonard. And the man who'll be fighting tonight out of Broxton, Massachusetts, Steve Zouski, comes into the fight a veteran, a record of 25 wins, 9 losses. 14 of those wins have come by knockout. And Steve Zouski has been in with a lot of the top fighters around today, including Joe Frazier's son, Marvis Frazier. He's also been in with a top African by the name of Benny Canozzi. He's lost his share. He's been stopped, but he's never been off his feet. And now our Star Spangled Banner.
Don't be pushing me. I got a job to do, son.
I'm not gonna push anywhere, guy.
Atta boy.
Too many of these things.
Okay.
I know, guy.
Don't be offended now, because I'm bigger than you.
You're not gonna be working too long tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest, 10 rounds. In the red corner, he's wearing all red trunks.
And round number 1 is underway. Out comes Tyson, as he always does, pressing straight forward, doesn't wear a robe into the ring, doesn't wear his socks, just puts on the shoes, the trunks, and the gloves, and he's ready to go to war. He's already shaken Zouski up with the first shot of the fight, and he almost looked disgusted that Zouski looked ready to fall. What a body shot with the left hand by the converted southpaw Mike Tyson, who, unlike many southpaws, can crush you with either hand. His left hook, of course, his best punch, but his right hand right behind that. His jab is just an awesome weapon, but his body punching, he's one of the most awesome body punching heavyweights I've seen in years. 19-year-old Mike Tyson out of the Catskills, New York. Turned professional on March 6, 1985, and here it is just over 1 year later. He is now in his 19th professional fight, has stopped all his opponents. Steve Zouski, though, promised, he said he wasn't afraid of Mike Tyson, that he'd be out there swinging with Tyson, boxing with Tyson. He has been in there with some real tough opponents. One of them, world cruiserweight champion by the IBF, Leroy Murphy, beat him on a 10-round decision and hit him with his best shots and couldn't take him off his feet. He's also been in there with Scott Frank, Mike Perkins, Benny Canosi, but he's never been in there with Mike Tyson. There's no question Tyson can punch. And his stamina, I think that was tested against Jesse Ferguson back in February of this year up in Albany. He went 6 hard rounds, stopping Ferguson in that 6th round. Tyson just picking his shots now, content to hit Zouski just about anywhere he can. Zouski reddened underneath the left eye. There's about 1 minute remaining here in the opening round. The referee, the veteran Arthur Mercati. Solid right hand to the body by Tyson. Tyson looking to measure his man with body shots. Zouski moving, trying to keep Tyson off balance. But the best thing Zouski could do is not stand there and just to get in the center of this 18-foot ring and keep moving. Zouski with a solid right hand off the head of Tyson. Some people still question his ability to take a punch, but so far in his 1 year as a professional, he's never been down, he's never been hurt, he's never been rattled, shaken up. And I've seen him through the Empire Games, the Olympic trials. He obviously, I'd say right now, has as good a chin as any heavyweight in the division now. There's about 15 seconds to go in the opening round, and that's an accomplishment right there for Steve Zouski, who many said would not even survive the first round, although it's not over. And we're heading to the bell. Well, Mike Tyson has a seat. His cornerman, Steve Lott, Matt Baranski, and inside the ring, former junior welterweight Kevin Rooney, who has something very, very common with Mike Tyson. Both were trained by the late, great Cus D'Amato. And over in the other corner, Steve Zouski, who's actually having, I can't believe he's having his fun in there, but he looked up at the round card girl and smiled. After taking a beating in round 1, he somehow found it in himself to smile at the round card girl. That's called a sense of humor. And we're getting set for round number 2. Arthur Mercati says, okay, guys, wait in your corner. There's the bell. And Mercati held up the proceedings for a moment while the round card girl was still stepping down. Tyson comes out, as always, trying to make every shot count. Everyone is a grenade. In this building, in 1976, took place the Joe Frazier-George Foreman rematch. The results just about the same as their first fight, with Foreman winning on a TKO. Zouski doing what he can to survive, keeping those hands high. He's sacrificing the body by protecting the head every time he puts his hands up high. Tyson moves in and smacks it. That time was a short left hook to the head. Zouski took it well. His legs, though, are doing a Mr. Bojangles. He's in trouble against the ropes. And that's one place you don't want to be against the slugger, young Mike Tyson, who has 12 first-round knockouts to his credit. Today he weighed in at 220.5 pounds. Zouski was 210. A swelling around the left eye of Steve Zouski, who is now taking the best Tyson has to offer. And you know that this guy is going to feel it after the fight. But unlike many of Tyson's opponents who come to grab and wrestle and just try to survive, Zouski is in there, as we say, like a man, taking his lumps. And I do mean his lumps. He is getting red everywhere Tyson is hitting him. He's red on the left side from the body shots. He's red on the right side. His face is reddened. His left eye is swollen. Tyson standing directly in front of Zouski. There, bends down with a left hook to the body, right hand to the body. Zouski doing an admirable job throwing back. Catches Tyson with two right hands coming in and a left hook. A solid combination by Tyson, who rarely opens up with a solid combination of about 6 blows. Zouski rocked back on his heels, but still comes back. The crowd can do nothing but applaud this young man from Brockton, Massachusetts tonight, because he has come to fight. The man some say may be one day put up there with the greats. Mike Tyson. There's about 30 seconds to go in the second round. The first round was all Tyson as he backed up Zouski, but Zouski hung in there just as you see him doing this round. The scoring here in New York, done on a round system. There's no standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect, and there's no saving by the bell except in the last round. And it looks like Zouski will get through another one. And I think the crowd is applauding the courage of Steve Zouski as much as they're applauding the efforts of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson may have 18 knockouts, but lovely Julie is a knockout herself. So after 2 rounds, Mike Tyson has taken them both against Steve Zouski, but you've got to really commend Zouski for the job he's put up tonight. He has taken a beating through 2 rounds against the slugger from Catskill, New York. Trained and honed by the late great Cus D'Amato, now trained by Kevin Rooney. Tyson made his network debut in February on ABC. He took on rated contender Jesse Ferguson. Ferguson was more or less unwilling to fight that night and did a lot of clinching and holding. And finally in the 6th round, the referee called him a TKO loser when he refused to break from a clinch for about the 5th or 6th time during the night. A packed crowd up at Rensselaer's Fieldhouse in Troy, New York witnessed that fight. Zouski bounces a right hand off the head of Mike Tyson, who's not exactly thinking defense in there now. Some more awesome shots from Tyson. Tyson, one of the most magnificent infighters I've seen in years. Probably the best heavyweight on the inside was Smokin' Joe Frazier. Tyson may be every bit as good, and possibly more so because his right hand, I believe, is better than Joe Frazier's. Frazier, like Tyson, a converted southpaw. But as I said earlier, unlike many converted southpaws, Jerry Cooney included, many of those converted southpaws do not have any power in the right hand. Tyson is not one of them. Tyson just committed to body work, really not looking for the head at all, looking to take this man out by chopping down the tree, working that refrigerator. Solid right hand to the body by Mike Tyson, who looks to be just getting some real heavy live sparring in there. Got Zouski in big trouble against the rope, but Tyson lays back because Tyson is an outstanding finisher. I think he's just trying different things in there tonight. The one thing I don't like about that, if you're working on certain things, you risk getting head-butted or maybe taking a thumb in the eye, except not tonight because the thumb is gloves. There's a solid right uppercut, and I don't know what's keeping Steve Zouski on his feet. He said he was most proud of the fact that he's never been off his feet before, and now he switches for a moment to the southpaw stance and tries to rock 2 right hooks off Tyson's head. With about 20 seconds to go, and there is a solid shot. If Zouski stayed up after that one, I don't know. Doesn't look like he'll beat the count. The count is 8, 9, 10, and this one's over. Arthur McKenney says you did not beat the count, and indeed he did not. A third-round knockout, not TKO, but third-round knockout for Mike Tyson, who ups his record to 19-0 with 19 knockouts, more than a sparring session tonight, but not much more. As Steve Zouski just tried, and Tyson knew it, respected him, and tried not to hurt him, and finally took him out of there. It was more of an accumulation of punches, but then that final blow put him down. He started to get to his feet at 8, and as he climbed to his feet, it was already the count of 10 from referee Arthur McKenney, and that gave Mike Tyson victory number 19. And managers Bill Cayton and Jimmy Jacobs say they'll be fighting this young man once every other week for the next year, building his record to somewhere around 40-0, and then when he's 20 years old, send him up against one of the heavyweight champions, looking to make Mike Tyson the youngest heavyweight champion in history. Floyd Patterson did it when he was 21 years old, and Cayton and Jacobs feel Tyson can do it before that time. And indeed, the way he's been looking so far in his career, who's to say anybody can stop him? Zouski now coming over to Tyson. Tyson looked at his victim and said, good effort. He respects men like that, and I think you'll hear him say that in the interview, because I'll be talking to Mike Tyson as soon as the announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have Tyson for a big boxing commissioner, Rose President.
So just another night's work for Mike Tyson.
Mike!
As he punished Steve Zouski for 3 rounds. And here's the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee has been stopped the contest. The winner by a knockout at 2 minutes and 39 seconds of the first round, Mike Tyson.
Well, it was late in the 3rd round. Mike Tyson unleashed a flurry of blows, and that was it for Steve Zouski. Out in the 3rd round, Tyson now 19-0 with 19 knockouts.
Hey, Mike, get ready to go, boy. Got another fight going. Let's go. Okay, hold on, guys. Here we go. Right here, Mike. You look here, Mike.
It's getting to be a habit. Mike Tyson now 19-0, 19 knockouts. What did you say about your opponent tonight? He was game.
Well, he was a game opponent, and I have to give him a lot of credit for staying in and taking some good punches. And for myself, I rate myself. I didn't like my performance. I have a lot of personal problems that I'm just getting over. But I'm gonna do all to the best ability to be ready for the 29th with James Tillis.
James Tillis is a very quick starter. That's why they call him quick. He's got fast hands, maybe the fastest hands in the heavyweight division. He has dropped Carl Williams in the 1st round. He's given Tyrell Biggs some trouble in the 1st round. What do you expect from Quick?
Well, I expect a good fight, but as always, I expect to be victorious at the end of the fight.
It must have felt good to have a man in front of you tonight who was willing to fight with you, not like Jesse Ferguson and Mike Jamison, who just wanted to hold on to you and wrestle.
Well, with an opponent like that, you're right, it's to my advantage, because I could always afford, even though it's not necessary, I could always afford to lose some rounds, but I always have the confidence to know that I'm going to catch up with him, because he's always there and he's not stationary enough.
Kevin Rooney, rate his performance tonight.
C.
How about you rate your performance?
I'm always giving myself a 0. I'm never impressed.
Have you given yourself an A yet?
Never. Perhaps never will.
Probably never will. That's perfection. That's what we're striving for.
You're going to be fighting every other week. There's a lot of people who say that's good, that's bad. I'm one who thinks it's absolutely fantastic. What is your opinion of going as much as you can?
Well, I have a hectic schedule. I can't, and I don't think I should have. That's the point of being famous. You have to give up a lot of things and sacrifice, and I can't live like a 19-year-old,
He indeed is only 19 years old, and he's 19-0 with 19 knockouts. Mike Tyson on his way to the heavyweight championship of the world.
My wife and I would go up to Cus D'Amato's camp, 2 or 3 times a year. It's up in Catskill, and it's about 3 hours from my home. We drive up and visit with Camille Ewald, who lived with Cus. It was Cus's sister-in-law. And when her husband died, Cus moved there, and that's when we started to take advantage of the opportunity to help Cus become a teacher and trainer of disadvantaged kids. And when we visited Cus this time, Cus took us to the gym and pointed to a young boy who was hitting the heavy bag very ferociously and said, "That's Mike Tyson." And we said, "Yes, we heard that he was here." He said, "Yes, not only is he here, but he will undoubtedly go on to become the youngest heavyweight champion in history, even younger than Floyd Patterson, who also was trained and managed by Cus D'Amato." And we were just amazed. On the trip back, all my wife and I could talk about was the fact that Cus was so high on this young boy. And Cus was a realist, and certainly a man not given to exaggeration, so that we were very impressed with the fact that he thought that Mike Tyson had this enormous potential.
An historical moment for Tyson as he faces James Quick Tillis in the next episode of Tyson, Raw and Uncut.
Mike Tyson!
I believe he will be the youngest heavyweight champion of all time.